So let's do a Sakalemi.
Yeah,
yes.
that is going to be handed over.
Yes, government says they're going to hand over the abandoned project to a private.
We've taken too long, in addressing this Sakalemi matter. The first thing that happened was to attack it. Procurement fraud, so and so, that and that and that.
Yeah.
And housing project that was, at a certain, percent, because of political, what you call it, expediency, has been left to this state, deplorable state that it is now.
Yeah.
At the time of the Mahama government's exit, I mean, they talked about how certain units had been completed and then ready for occupancy. However, because of, investigation, prosecution, and all that, I mean, I think one of the guys even died in the process.
Yeah, the chief director.
Exactly. Okay. The chief director died, and then the businessman who facilitated also died. Yeah. So the only person who is
the contractor,
yes, also died, and then the housing unit.
So now, if you want to prosecute, it's going to be only Collins
Dowda, maybe somebody else. Who else?
But
so where do you establish?
Contractor and the chief director, they are dead.
I mean, and look at the housing situation we have in the country, where kiosks, estates are being planted all over the place.
And it's getting worse.
And it's getting worse.
Yeah.
East Legon used to be, for a certain class of people. But this is the the least corner you take. I mean, it's a slum is just, developing around it. We need to, the congestion in Accra is becoming massive. The traffic situation. Today, I had to use certain corners before getting to here on time. Okay, I'm sure he also had to go through a similar thing. Okay, so population-wise, things are the society is becoming very congested, and then finance-wise, rent is going up every now and then.
Yeah.
And so you can't, do.
Please wrap it up for me.
Okay, so if it says they are giving it out, it's how many months to an election? How many months
Look at
to
the state of it?
Yeah, look at that. Yeah. And if they tell you the amount of money that has been blown on this thing, and for 7 to 8 years we are where we are, we could have done the investigation, but then allow the projects to go on. At the point in time, they said they were giving it to police. Another time they were giving it to military. Another time we should move the Keta people. Sorry, the water spillage people to a place like this.
I mean, from the government.
All right.
That's so much money has been pumped into the sea.
Let me hear from Elvis on this matter.
No, I think, this is how we do things. That's why we spend taxpayers' money. We don't get much results. This project, we went for $200 million loan. It's for part of our national debt that we have to pay. And we want to do a certain number of housing projects, or somebody has gone to change the numbers that to be done and everything. That can be investigated whilst you find money to complete the project. They exhausted all the $200 million. Yet there were no drainages. There were things that will make people occupy the place don't exist. They are not there. Though the building you sleep in has been completed, you have no drainage, you have no water, you have no electricity. So when they say the building is ready for occupancy, how do you occupy a place where there's no water? When there's no electricity? So the point is that for me, immediately we should have found money to fix those things. At least the housing has been completed and put it to use. Once we investigate and find out if indeed people misuse the money, we'll prosecute them later after the investigation.
Yeah.
But when we leave it for this thing to deteriorate to this point, because we said the money allocated has been exhausted, and here we are and the rest. The last estimate I found, we currently need over $130 million to be able to complete this project. I believe at that time, if we wanted to do it with the water and the rest alone, it was just about around $30 million to complete those ones. But because the buildings have deteriorated, the doors, the windows, everything is almost completed.
People stole a lot.
Yeah.
Now, it means that the doors, the windows, everything, the finishing that we have done, we have to redo them again. Now the price has gone up. So you realize that if the decision had been taken that, yes, we think there is something that has gone with this project. However, we will complete it immediately, put it to use. Meanwhile, the investigation will continue, and if people are found guilty, they will face the law. Yeah. I think that would have achieved two purposes. The buildings are done, it is being put to use, and they will prosecute. The prosecutors will speak, the case is in court. We don't know where we are getting to. Meanwhile, we allow the buildings also to deteriorate to this level, and now we have to spend more money to be able to complete. The money you need to complete it in 2017 is less than what you need to complete it today or tomorrow.
By far.
And there are several state projects like that.
And this is where we must take a decision on some of these things. And this is why we also have to look at the way we do things. That as a country, we cannot put money. As we say, everybody shout about public debt. I can tell you that if we want to do a proper estimation of our public debt, maybe 20 or 30% are for all completed projects.
Okay.
Why do we do that?
Okay, let's wrap this up and then let's talk about the IPAC. It's happening this morning. All the parties are going to be there finally. And NDC has been calling for a live telecast. EC has agreed in principle for
I
us
think
to do
all
that.
this the NDC is doing, I think that they are just getting it wrong. Look, nobody should deceive us that there was any audit of the voter register 2016 when NPP called for it. It didn't happen. NPP called for it, but it was not done. The committee set up by the Electoral Commission brought 16 recommendations led by Justice Crabb. They never talk about audit anyway. What they recommended is that all the problems, that most of them can be fixed during exhibition, and that they should use the exhibition to fix the problems. Nobody brought in any firm to come and do audit of issue register in 2015 or 2016. The recommendation was that use the exhibition, because if you say dead people, doing exhibition is what they will do it. If you say vote in the wrong place, it's exhibition that will do it. So use exhibition to fix all those problems. What happened that probably people are calling an audit was not an audit. It was instruction from the Supreme Court. When Abu Ramadan went to court and insisted that when we say a Ghanaian, the documents that identify you as a Ghanaian does not include national health insurance card. Okay. But people used it to register. But registration is for only those who can identify as Ghanaians. And therefore, those who register with the NHS card should be removed from the register. And the Supreme Court agreed and asked if they can identify. They said yes. And they made them to go and identify, compile the list, bring the Supreme Court, and then their names were removed. And the EC directed that those people should be given another chance if they really are Ghanaians and have other identities to come and register. That was what happened, that some names were removed. But it was not like you go for KPMG or somebody and say, come and audit the voter register. It didn't happen. So we should stop confusing people. EC said, if you and this, you say you have problems, bring all of them. We work on it. You said the things are there, I will not give it to you. So how does EC work with it? I remember the MPP at that time, they went to even Togo to go and take Togo register and said, look at this face. It's the same person. It's on Togo register, it's on Ghana register. They gave all the evidence to EC, but EC still rejected their request.
I remember.
The EC still didn't do anything about it until they said the committee came back with 16 recommendations that, look, it's not about audit. The law that puts up the Electoral Commission knows that this will happen. So they make provision on how to fix it. And one of the ways to fix it is an exhibition. So I think that if NDC has anything, my advice is present all the evidence. And then let all Ghanaians say, Electoral Commission, the evidence has been given to you. Give you 2 weeks. Come back and give us what you have done about what NDC has presented. And then we can move on.
Thank you. Please,
quickly.
Let's wrap it up.
So you see, like he pointed out that the NHIA card, and then the claim that Togolese were, in the register or on the register. And then, that Justice Crabb's committee came up with
16 recommendations.
16 recommendations. But I've also heard about Justice Crabb's committee saying that some of the things that the MPP said at the time were non-existent.
Yes. The committee also found some of them.
Yes, and some of them were non-existent, particularly the bit about the Togolese being on the register. Okay. As said by the Vice President, the Vice President, Dr. Baumia, today. Now, I mean, the NDC has been out there, talking about voter transfer issues, and also that they've discovered that certain areas, strange names are on the register, about 200 and something thousand and all that. For me, I feel that the live telecast today will reveal a lot. Okay, whether or not the NDC is being truthful, or whether or not the EC is also being truthful by saying that all that the NDC has brought or has raised, they have corrected it.
Okay.
Because over the weekend, Bosman Asari, sat on a few TV platforms and said that most of the things that the NDC
had brought up.
they
dealt with it.
exactly.
Yeah.
But then they should still come to the negotiation table. Now, initially you said that they haven't brought anything. Whatever it is that they are raising, didn't make sense. Now you are claiming that you have resolved the things that they had, the issues that they brought. Okay, but then you are still inviting them to the negotiation table. 3 things you are saying here. Which one are we to believe in? The one you've corrected?
I mean, hopefully today at the IPAC meeting, whatever the issue.
NDC has refused to give them what they asked.
Oh no, I heard him. I heard him.
No, that's what I'm saying. The NDC are not giving them anything.
But I mean, I recall that 2015.
Please, let's wrap it up.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm wrapping up.
2015.
2015, there was a call for a new register. That was eventually done. And I recalled Otunfo, making comments on the GBA.
But that was not an audit.
No, that wasn't an audit. I'm saying that new register. Yeah. I mean, it's something to that effect. No, people had issues with the register.
Yes.
It said that the fresh one should be done, and the fresh one was eventually done before the election, which eventually the MPP won anyway. You get it. So I think that
those concerns started in 2015.
It is good for the EC or all the stakeholders to agree that we should do the live telecast. Let's all watch it. Let's all determine who is being truthful. Whether NDC is being truthful or whether the EC has met all the requirements, and whether it claimed that the register is robust and that it can never be used for anything untoward.
Okay.
Let's see whether we can have all that.
And in 2020, nobody complained. But the EC, by its process, was able to remove over 50,000 people from the register.
I am. We ran out of time.
Are we going to have it?
Well, I hope you are. I am. I am for sure. Who told you that?
At the last time I came, it was 130 minutes.
Wonderful.
Oh, you and Kofi Kapito.
All right, so I want to say a big thank you to Elvis Darko. He's the editor for the News Center newspaper, and Larry Alasdogbe. He's the managing editor for the Herald newspaper. We'll take a quick break. When we're back, there's music and there's more conversations right here on Breakfast Daily.